Rückstandes, 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 Rückstandes,
Oh my goodness, and Tim Onlu goes over a tenth of a second fast. Could hit 170 kilometers an hour or 231 miles an hour unassisted down the long main straight. And while these RSS Formula hypercars are not as quick in a straight line as those with the large wings and lower revving six hybrids based off of the F1 regulations, seemingly getting in with a way of high speeds, a low downforce setup, and a massive slipstream, certainly wouldn't see the cars far off that ridiculous pace. Indeed, the total lap record around it was set by Lewis Hamilton in 2020, the year of regulations these cars were built to. So we could perhaps be seeing some of the master split guys have a look at becoming the new monarch of Monza. But first, as always, we have the Challenger split coming up in our dramatic last two races. Let's see if we can have our minds once again with an awesome event. As you can we're just waiting for the server to catch up because it unfortunately reset itself while we were waiting on the intro. And again, I do also just need to briefly apologise. Apparently, my mic is a little bit robotic today. I'm operating off a laptop, so not very good Wi-Fi this evening, even though my normal microphone is plugged in. So apologies for that. I'm just going to have to roll the dice with it. It's really bad. We're going to get a man on the Alex Cochran. Alex is apparently here now. Hello, Alex. apparently Alex isn't quite here yet. Gonna okay. He's gonna set his microphone up. He will be with us very very shortly. Apologies for the robotic microphone. My little old top is trying very. I think you may not have the growing. I've got a lovely view instead. But of course, that's not what I'm going to be looking at. I'm going to be looking at Horizon Italian 3 tonight. Obviously, the challenge up first of all. Well, they're in the well, they're not quite Italian team, but they're saying they're Italian, running a special red livery for their home race, which they'll also sponsor as well. Agnes Rositis has his championship lead slightly extended to 19 points after the last lap. Doesn't take it far on Giovanni. He has 124 points to Morum 105, and what overtake that was on the last lap down the Kent Straight. Talk about dramatic. Case separated by 1 point in third position, 74 to 73. Like those, you can see there, the qualifying has just got underway. Okay, so very close. Third and fourth in the Drivers' Championship at the moment, now fifth and sixth in the championship. Only done 2 rounds. They did so well in both. But they're still holding their own. Mustafa Muradi and Yandra Grimin were now both master split. That kind of speaks about how quick those guys were. They're 7th is Ollie Gibson, who, however, is 1 point behind Yandra Grimin. So all goes well today. He will be finding his way up into that top 6, maybe even that top 5 as well. Bag Motorsport still contain the lead in the Constructors' Championship with 15 points to TC Esports in second, 139 to 124 points there. Linus seems set for third position, but Dimbob are slowly closing in. Line is also announced a new reserve driver who was supposed to be racing here today. He's also going to be the sprint driver for the last round of the season. Next Sunday, Jack Cogan, the American, he pulled out at the last minute, unfortunately for him. But hopefully we might be able to see a little over the rest of the season, and we'll be seeing him next Sunday in this sprint series as well. Hello, Alex.
Yes, hello. I'm on the stream now. Everyone should be able to hear me. Please type in the chat if I'm a bit loud. Unfortunately, as you can hear, Ross is having some little bit of microphone issues, but we'll soldier on, see how it goes through the race.
Yeah, again, so sorry about that. As I said, I am trying my best. And as you can see here, Canini beginning his first qualifying lap in the very nice looking red Horizon car there, which is, yeah, very pretty, if I do say so myself. Obviously, Monza, home to Tifosi, the Italian motorsport as it is. And well, the sole Italian driver we've got on this grid, Luca Dolciotti. Actually, a jumping ship from Horizon over to, well, they're now called Sunset Racing. They're now called rebranding into a nice purple livery as well. And, yeah, can't keep Koenigsegg and Dolciotti moving over there to partner Stephen Hetner. So that should be interesting to see how that goes. Canini working his way through the second. There is a Lioness Racing car parked on the exit of that. For some reason, they can get moving pretty quickly through the Lesmos now. Very quick corners. If you go through those corners, well, I've now got Alex speaking in my ear. Apparently my microphone is not great, so I may have to go and find some backup and then call it a night for me, because by the sounds of things, it is not great for me. Apparently we're really quiet as well. Apologies. Tell you what, wouldn't be a Formula Trout stream without us having some sort of drama. Right, hang on. Do give us a second here as Canini rounds the parabolica there. Well then, so apologies for the absolute atrocity that's occurring here. It's rather annoying on my part as well, because I spent a lot of time on some very nice notes. I'm not going to get to read them out to you.
Okay, we should be back. Sorry about those issues. Unfortunately, we have lost Ross, so now I'm here joined with Toby Sanford, who drives alongside me in Master Split. So we're going to try and make something out of this and put a stream on for you guys.
Yeah, we're gonna have some very thrown together commentary and just everything for Challenger Split. While Ross can maybe sort out the issues he's having, but I think he's away, so don't think we'll have him back today, unfortunately. But he gave it a good shot given circumstances, so obviously maximum respect for that.
Yep. You rejoin us. There is 7 minutes 30 left of quali. Currently, Gibson is on pole. By quite a margin as well. It's 6/10 there to Kamishov. He comes through Curva Grande now. I don't know if he's on a lap.
No, I think it's an in-lap judging by the slow exit out of the first chicane he had. So obviously, Ollie Gibson preparing to probably go on another fly here at Monza. Obviously has a 6/10 advantage. No, that's been dropped down to now a 10th advantage over Amorim. Not sure which Amorim that is.
So,
Giovanni Amorim. There we go.
Yep.
Obviously, Giovanni. See if I can pull up Ross's notes here. Oh, it's Bruno Amori running no wings. Looking at the notes there. Thank you, Ross. Yeah, Bruno Amori, Giovanni's brother, obviously running no wings. Ross has been told, which is he's passed on to us. Well, yeah, he's passed on to us. I don't know.
Yeah, he's currently down in P14, 2 seconds off Gibson and P1. So maybe not working out for him too well so far, but there's still 6 minutes left, so plenty of time to try and get a lap in.
Yeah, I think the wings he's said he's running probably won't help him that much. He'll be a rocket ship in the straight, but when it comes to the more technical sections like what he's coming into now with Ascari, he'll probably be struggling a lot to get the car to stick. Because you do surprisingly need a bit more wing than you would typically or possibly expect for Monza, because you've obviously got these high-speed sections like the two, almost said Degner, Lesmos. The two Lesmos leading down to Ascari, and then obviously Parabolic itself, because if you don't have a front wing, you're going to wash out. And sorry, Alex, go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt. Ty Isom has just gone into P1, 10th ahead of Gibson. So there you go. Pole changes, provisional pole.
Yeah, and I think there's going to be a lot of that in the quali sessions for both splits, because the lap times here, there's not a lot in them for either split. Practice, for example, I think you had Max Hammerlink out front on the practice leaderboard, and then myself in second, being humble again. And then the gap from then on wasn't very much at all. I think it was about a tenth, 2 tenths, splitting up the rest of the field below that. So obviously a very tight, packed field here, given everyone's in the same car, probably very similar setups.
Yeah, the lap here isn't too long, is it? So, and there you go. As you said, Gibson back in P1, now 3 tenths in front of Ty. So
first man into the 119s as well.
Yeah, it's an impressive time. Obviously, the time's a bit all over the place, but as you said, it's quite a short lap, lots of straights. So yeah, the times are very close, similar to Austria in that regard, where I think the top 10 in Master Split was all within around 7/6 tenths. So we could be seeing a repeat of that here.
Yeah, no, obviously Monza is a lap where obviously there's not that many corners, so you've got to make sure that you nail every single corner you possibly can. Ascari probably being the most crucial part of the lap, because you need to carry as much speed as you can through there. There's also a particularly evil inside curb on the exit that if you hit it slightly wrong, it just tends to kill you, as I found out through practice alone. Obviously, the toe in real life was a massive, massive thing here in real life, but I don't think it's quite as effective as it is in real life here on AC. But don't seem to be having any toe games going on here, at least in Challenger. So we'll see if that transfers over to Master. But obviously, we've got Giovanni Amorim here starting a fresh lap. Maybe we can ride around with him for this one, just see what's going on, because obviously it's a very action-packed lap here at Monza. Hard braking into the second chicane, down to maybe 3rd or 4th gear, depending on your confidence. Back up again into 5th, 6th. Go down 1 into 5th for the first Lesmo. Chuck it in, hope it sticks. Run it out wide. Go up to 6th again. Down 1 more gear into Lesmo 2. flat out straight away into the DRS zone. Obviously, a bit of time to breathe here on the run down to Ascari, but Ascari is where everything truly kicks off, as he looks like he's maybe got some traffic up ahead that he might catch. In fact, he will. He's called them into Ascari. That's horrible, horrible luck for Giovanni there.
Yeah, not what you want to do. It's one of the trickiest corners on this track to get stuck behind. The left and then the right, you just any dirty air through there and it can just ruin your lap. Wouldn't be surprised if he pulls into the pits here.
We'll see if he's going to go for this one.
Yeah, stays out, see what the time is. Oh, and that's pole, yeah.
Pole.
5/10 to Oliver Gibson, so didn't hold him up too much, it seems.
Immediately he drops back to let the whoever that was back through at the end as well, which is very kind of him.
And there's just in front of him, Magnus going out for what is probably his last run. Gonna try get pole position. Oh, there's Case comes up to Case Willems comes up to P2. Still 4/10 off Amorim, so clearly the benchmark there.
Elston running up to 4th there with that lap he's just put in. So it looks like the Lioneers guys having a pretty good run here in qualifying at least. Hopefully they can carry that momentum through into the race.
Yeah, they definitely had some impressive practice times. Both of the Lioneers racing cars were high up in the timings, so it looks like they're trying to convert that for a good result in the race. Rositis down in P7. I think he's a current championship leader, so we'll see what he can do. Obviously, he'll be wanting to. I think he has quite a good space gap to the car behind in terms of points, but obviously he's going to want to get as high a result as possible. You don't want to lose anything, so we'll see what he can do. So he should be starting his lap now.
Sorry. Yeah. This is part of the season that's crucial, obviously, because we're in what is essentially the last leg of the championship. Everyone's going to be going flat out, trying to get as many points as they can out of every single race. Actually, Monza being the circuit it is, it's not overly difficult for overtaking, but you've got to rely on being close enough to the car ahead in the DRS zones to make any kind of move happen.
Yeah, obviously we have a lot of straights here, which can allow slipstreams, but you know, these corners, the Lesmos especially, it's super hard to pass there. You can't really go side by side. There's only one line, so you just have to make it through, you know, as early in the lap as possible, and then hope you can build a gap for the rest of it. Otherwise, they might catch through this second DRS zone here, or get back on your tail for the start-finish straight.
Obviously, Rositis with a good sector 1 here at the moment. He was a 10th up. See what he gets for the second sector. Not an improvement, unfortunately. Down by, I believe that's a 10th. You can make that time up on the exit of Ascari through Parabolica, but it's really quite difficult to do because if you run 3/10 down in Sector 2, so this might not be the lap Rositis was looking for. But it should surely be an improvement over where he was. We'll find out now as he comes to the line. Up to P6 for Rositis, so an improvement, but maybe not as high up as he was hoping to be for the race. So it's Keith Willems now as well coming through. He's giving up
the pits. I think we've got Gibson on lap here, so see what he can do.
Bit of a conservative line on the exit of Lesmo too, though. There's a couple of guys that decide to run way out there, trying to use up all of the circuit just to carry that little bit more speed down into the Ascari braking zone. He's not up on pole, is Ollie Gibson at the moment. Obviously flying down now towards Parabolica, probably one of the hardest corners on the circuit, I'd say, given just how crucial it is to starting and ending a good lap.
I think he might have backed off as well. He was, I think he lifted. Yep, so that's his quali session done. Do we have anyone else on track? Stephen Hepner coming through Parabolica. Is he gonna do a lap?
No, I think
nope, in lap for him too.
Yep.
Bruno Morin. Yeah, he's down on his sector times too. So
yeah, so that's
pretty much P1 for Giovanni Amorim, P2 for Ty Isom, and P3 for Case Willems. He'll be very happy with that. That's a very good time. Only a few tenths off pole, so second row of the grid. See what he wants to do with that for the race.
You now have the rather lovely fade out into the next session. Obviously, a nice turnout for this Challenger split race as well, as you can see from Alex showing off the entire grid for the pit lane, or in the pit lane.
Yeah, we have our magic drone cam, so we can go through the grid. We can see quite a few different nice mixed liveries. I think people have said before, we have quite a nice mixed liveries here in Trout. A lot of unique designs, specially done for this championship. I just want to comment, I think Horizon Racing, which has been renamed, and unfortunately I'm not familiar with their new name, but they're running a special livery for this round. Red, obviously the colour of Ferrari, which is their home race in the real world motorsports, so it's nice to see.
There's a couple of people's home races, as it were. Luca Dolciotti is an Italian, so this is obviously possibly a fairly important race for him, depending on how seriously he takes his sim racing, being he is an Italian, and this is essentially Trout's Italian Grand Prix. He's obviously going to be hoping for a good result from the virtual Tifosi, possibly egging him on. Yes, AC has gifted us with the cars now being teleported
there we go.
to the grid.
Cars, yep, as you said, now on the grid, ready for the start. We have a 1 minute 45 countdown, and then the red lights will go out. I'll just set up the thing. Obviously, we don't want to have the mistake of having a safety car on the start line, a mistake that has been made in Trout a few times in the past, but we'll prevent that today.
Lovely, lovely view of these 2020 regulation cars lined up on the grid here at Monza. That's right. So we have Giovanni Amore on pole with Tiresome on the first row with him, and then 2 Lioneers cars on the second row, locking that out. Honestly, a lot can happen here into Monza T1. So these may not be the positions that they come out of turn 1 in, but who knows? It's Monza. Monza turn 1 on the first lap is almost always a disaster. But
yeah, it's a super tricky turn 1 here. Obviously, a very, very tight, slow speed, right-left chicane. Long run down to turn 1, so you brake a little bit late. Yeah, a little bit late, and you can just punch the car in front of you just through, and then it can be a bit of a chain reaction. But it's gone well in the past, so hopefully we can replicate that again today. Obviously, the drivers here are very skilled, so we'll see how it happens. We've got 15 seconds till lights out now. The lights come on.
Now AC's very strange. 6 lights should all light up in sequence. Here we go. 4, 5, 6 lights. All 6 out, and we are underway here at Monza. Good start by Tyson by the looks of it. Giovanni Amore tries to cover him off, but he just doesn't get the launching comparison. Obviously, Ty's still there to the inside. Hopefully, everyone can get through there cleanly. No, it's immediately gone wrong. That is... they've collected Ty as well. Obviously, we were saying about Monza, just such a tricky, tricky corner to get right, even if it's just a simple braking zone. But as we saw there, sometimes it just goes wrong. You can brake a little too early, and someone will run straight back into you. Ty's obviously going to have some damage from that. I don't even know who else was collecting that. A good, 3 or 4 cars at least caught up in that first accident.
We've just heard from the race director that's going to be a restart due to that crash at turn 1. We've had another collision. Obviously good for Ty. He's dropped down to P15 after that, so he'll be very, very glad of this. The car's lined back up on the grid.
And now we're doing it all over again.
Yeah, hopefully we can not repeat that. Have a much cleaner getaway. As you see, though, as we said, just one car makes an error, and it just chain reaction the whole grid. So tricky as usual at Monza.
Yeah, now all of these guys are going to have to get their minds back into it again for another start. Surprisingly difficult to do because obviously the adrenaline, even though you're essentially driving what is a couple of pixels on a screen, you've still got the adrenaline of a race start about to happen. You can obviously maybe or you can either make a better start than you did, or have a worse start with this one. So again, anyone's game. Ty, obviously, we saw on the first attempt, shall we say, almost getting the better start on Giovanni, but then obviously the chaos behind unfolded and he got tagged. Would have gave him some damage.
Looked like Oliver Gibson was hit from behind and it just sent him off. So we'll see what they can do this time. Actually, Ty's going to be quite glad of that, a restart. But as you said, you're ready for the start. Do it again. You got extra pressure. You try replicate what you've already done. So hopefully, fingers crossed.
Hopefully we don't get a car spearing into the outside barrier again.
Yeah.
Would not be ideal. But
thankfully, we do have quite big runoff areas here. So if you're smart, you might lose out in the short term, but in the long distance the races are here, it'll clearly pay off. So the lights come on once again for the second start.
you know, you see able to demonstrate its glorious 6 red lights as they light up once more for a second attempt here at Monza. Lights are out. Similar story to last time. Tyson with a fantastic start, actually. This time he will get the lead before we even make it to turn 1. Is Giovanni going to try and be braver on the brakes into turn 1 to grab the... Yes, he will. He will fight back. Small amount of bumping and barging, but much, much cleaner this time around. Giovanni will get the position out of turn 2. And now we're on the run down to the second chicane. Obviously, Ty will have the toe, but it's all kicking off pretty much everywhere. You can see our timing board going crazy trying to keep up with all the position changes that are happening. As Keith has a look at his teammate. Elson has a look at Ty. A bit of an argy-bargy between the two, and Elson's not going to come off better from it. Keith will try and take advantage of his teammate's despair. So, no, that's Elston off. Elston's gone wide there, running just a little too wide in the first Lesmo. He's going to try and rejoin as safely as he can. Obviously, the entire field just plowing through behind us. Someone's going straight on at Lesmo too. Who was that?
Oh, that was Littell's by the looks of things. Big damage to his car. He should be able to continue, but yeah, it's going to put him right to the back of the field. Really unfortunate for Elston there. You know, little wide through Lesmo 2. Lesmo 1 puts you on the grass and the whole field goes through before you can rejoin. So he's got a lot of work to do for the rest of the race. Oh, and that looks like Robbie Arthur's gone off on the exit of Scari.
Possibly grabbing that inside curve I talked about in qualifying as well, because that curve I found from personal experience is really quite horrible. Lascelles must have a big amount of damage given the speed he seems to carry into the wall at Lesmo 2.
Yeah, it's really
Possibly
unfortunate.
going through. Oh, is that a car? Is that Arthur? No, that's Robbie Arthur again to
still
the
having
left.
issues. Looks like he has some suspension damage. I think his steering wheel doesn't look straight, so that'll be an early pit stop for him. See if he can see what tyres he goes on to. I suspect the C1s might try to take it to the end of the race. We'll go back up to the front though. We've got 5 tenths to Ty Isom. He tried to make a move into the second chicane, but didn't pay off. Unfortunately, his teammate made a bit of an error, but it's 7 tenths. We've got 3 laps until the DRS is activated as usual. So as soon as that happens, Gap's going to close right back up with the long straights here.
Littell's and Arthur both going to the pits, obviously, to repair the damage that they've got. I think maybe Elston either having another issue or going into the pits. He did seem to drop down according to the timing board, but very unfortunate start for Elston. Just running a little too wide in the first Lesmo, wasn't it? I've forgotten now. There's so much going on this early on. The field's just going to be very condensed with one another. The toe in the dirty area is going to be hampering your performance through corners. This is Kamishov. Sorry, I almost got thrown off by the fastest lap counter. Kamishov going to the outside of Rositis, trying to take position into turn 1. Who's going to be braver on the brakes? Now the question, it looks like it's Kamishov very deep into the corner, but no, Rositis comes back. That's Ty Issel on the inside wall.
Heartbreak. Running P2, he's in the wall. Similar
Ty Issel
story.
Maybe going a bit too early on the power in turn 1 and just losing the back end.
Yeah, drops down to P12 from P2. Oh, and he's lost another place to Marshall. Heartbreaking for him. He will not be happy with that. I'm not sure if there was contact or not, but it was quite the gap to the car in front, so... Again, another driver with a lot of work to do this race.
DRS is now activated, so his recovery drive might be a little easier now that he has that available. He'll get it on Marshall ahead.
As you can see,
Oh,
he's
yeah, he's got-
activated
yep,
the DRS. Will he be close enough? No. That's the problem, though, as well. This corner, great straights, and if you're close, you can pass, but things like, oh, they've come together! No! Who was that? Who was in
That's West for Tiresome, and that's Hepner in the background as well on the exit of Ascari around.
I think Ty just slightly misjudged the exit speed of Marshall, just collected him on the exit. Yeah, it looks like Marshall has some damage. There's both not pitting, so clearly feel the car's okay to continue. Oh, there's a 3 wide down the straight.
These guys obviously have to remember that 3 do not go into 1, especially at turn 1 near, as they filter it out side by side.
Oh,
And
and
Ty's
he's lost
out.
the rear.
And into Elston, one source of bad to worse for Ty.
Oh, and he's retired from the race. P2 to DNF in 4 laps. Really, really unfortunate to see. We'll just go back to the front here. We've got P4 and P3. DRS onto the back of Rositis. Don't think he'll be close enough into Ascari, but we'll see.
No, I think he's too far back, and Ascari is as well a very, very bold move to make. You kind of have to be already past the guy once you get into the DRS zone for it to be an actual overtake. Otherwise, you're just going to risk a collision. Obviously, Toe very, very strong here with these 2020 regulation cars. Kamishov will hopefully get a better exit or better run through Parabolic, because he doesn't seem to. He picked up a bit of dirt, yeah, mid-corner, kind of understeers wide, but he will still get DRS. If he has battery available, he will dump it as soon as he gets DRS, and he might be able to make a move, but it looks like he might be a little too far back for anything to happen. And he is indeed... Oh, he's gone very deep!
Oof.
Wow!
Well, I don't know if he meant to do that, but...
How on earth did he make that corner? Breaking that late. That was ridiculous.
Oh, and Rositis has lost a position to Ali Gottman, so dropping back from that. I don't know if he cut the chicane or you had to back off, but I don't think he'll be too happy with that. Case Willems in front seemed to make a mistake, lost the rear on the braking, so he's under pressure from Kamishov now.
I've just lost. I have no idea how Case Williams made that corner.
Yeah, unfortunately, we don't. It's gone. Sorry.
Was it? I'm forgetting everything. Was it Kamishov? Sorry, we were riding with Kamishov and then we switched to someone else. I think it was Williams that made the corner, or just about made the corner.
I think it was Kamishov. Came down the inside of Rositis. Case Willems in front made an error, so I think it threw both drivers off a little bit. Yeah, super committed on the brakes there. Unfortunately, we don't have a replay, but it'll be interesting to see that from a external camera, because you know there is some rules depending on where you can come from when it's your corner, and might have pushed it a little far then, but we'll see after the race if there's any reports, anything for the stewards to look at. The car exits the pits there. I'm not sure who that was. That was Stephen Hepner, who's, I believe, a lap down now, so it's really unfortunate for him. You really have to...
Just going for damage limitation on the C1s is pretty much all that tyre is good for.
Yeah, the blue wall C1s, don't really see much of those. Obviously, if you're in an incident early on, it can pay in the long run to run them for the start of the race, but yeah, it's unfortunate for him. He'll have to really fight through the field. Well, you'll have to fight his car, to be honest, on those C1s. He's got to run them for 30 laps. They might last, but they're not the fastest tyres in the world. But we'll see what he can do by the end of the race. Gibson on the rear of Machado. Seems to be a bit of a DRS train here, going up to P3.
My dogs have, if the stream is capturing it, decided to kick off in the background.
That's fine. Bit of just some extra interest. Yeah, unfortunately, we don't have Ross here today. We tried to stream, but unfortunately, his microphone wasn't too good.
We're both trying to be main comment or lead commentators, and neither of us are really that, unfortunately. So,
yeah,
I don't think the quality is quite as good as what you might be used to with Ross McIntyre commentating.
Yeah, I myself am just a driver. I don't plan on commentating, but here I am. So, not the best coverage in the world, but we can make it work. So,
It's coverage nonetheless. It's better than nothing.
yeah, I think the gaps are kind of starting to form now. The timing screen only shows a few tenths between cars, but the straights here just stretch the cars out. Can't really make a move into the next corner. As you can see, Resistis, Machado and Gibson here running all within a second, but just unable to make a move on each other. Through Lesmo 1, just the front end just washes out. Lesmo 2, similar story. Then you get the helping of DRS, but then Ascari where you just have the same problem once again.
And Dirty Air, something to really consider when it comes to following a car. It's not as bad as it is in real life, or the drivers say it is in real life, but it is still certainly something that comes into effect once you're close behind a car here in AC.
You could see Machado close up to Resistance in front throughout the middle of Ascari, but then just on the exit can't get the grip on the front end and just drops back again. Oh, and we've got cars off in the background. Oh, there's been a crash on the exit with Canini.
Maybe a coming together between the two, but unfortunately, AC with its lack of replays, unfortunately, we won't be able to see what happened until any post-race incident reports, I suppose, if they decide to file one. But obviously neither side coming off well from whatever occurred between the two.
Yeah, they seem to be still continuing, so I don't think there's too much damage, but yeah, they draw lost positions because of that, so... Ooh, and Gibson, alongside someone, for P6 that is.
I believe that's Machado. He's racing side by side. Small bump between the two on the exit of the second chicane. Gibson going to have to yield the position for the time being and have to deal with that dirty wake that Concord, I believe it's Concord car.
Yeah, that's Concord Racing, and I believe this is GA Racing, one of the newer teams to challenge a split. Again, gets the helping of DRS into Ascari, just can't follow through. Maybe after the Parabolica going down into turn 1, he can make a move.
He's going to have to get a very good Parabolica to be close enough to get the tow, and then any battery that he has left over for an assault. You see, just look at the dirty air through Parabolica. So much understeer being caught up or being picked up just because he's following the car ahead. Going into the DRS, so now I don't think he's going to be close enough personally to launch an attack, but we'll see. He might go very late on the brakes. Thinks better of it, decides to stick behind for another lap.
Yeah, nothing can do. Closes up through the chicane and then just pulls away again. I think there'll be a lot of that. It's a very frustrating track to drive when you're stuck behind someone. You're so close to the car in front, but into the braking zone, just nothing you can do. I think Canini's just come into the pit, so he clearly feels he has too much damage to continue. See what tyres he goes on to. Should be able to run the C2 tyres by now, but...
There was a lot of suspension damage he's picked up. The car steering wheel almost 45 degrees to the left. So
yeah, this will be a long pit stop for him then. Well, I think Machado isn't... Oh, he's off just out the exit of Lesmo 2, I believe that is. Gets going again, but lost the position to Gibson here.
Fox, by the looks of it, is going to pick up the position as well, benefiting from that. In fact, no, Machado will just give him the position. Essentially, that's one of the Amorums. That is Bruno Amorim making a move from Dolciotti for a 9th place.
Yeah, both the Amorums into some good positions. P1 for Giovanni. Good gap to Case and P2 after their earlier incident. So P9 for Bruno. So they'll probably be quite happy with those results. See how it goes for the rest of the race.
Yeah, everything seems to be settling down now. Everyone's kind of spread out a little bit. Pit stops may be considered or may have already happened if they've had damage. So the field slowly opening up.
Yeah, most of the field seems to be on the C4 tyre, other than Bruno Morum, interestingly. So, as Ali Gottman just makes a little error coming out of the second chicane. Big little slide, loses the position to resist it, I believe, but gets going again without too much drama.
Yeah, surprisingly easy to do because there is a bit of a bump on the exit of that second chicane that can catch you out if you get it just a little wrong.
Yeah,
He's going to have Ollie Gibson for company as well, who will now have DRS on him.
Yeah, I think tyres here, you're looking at probably C4 to C3, maybe C2 if you pit a little earlier. think the pit stop should start around now, maybe, if you're feeling brave, but around lap 15, I think you can take the C4s too, so we'll see quite a few cars pitting then, see what they do. So we just sort the timing screen out.
Timing screen, of course. Our friend at times, or our worst enemy here in a Formula Trout. And Ollie Gibson just having DRS and the toe, but just not being close enough to make anything of it. Just a common story here at Monza. You see the exact same thing in real life as well. The best bet is just getting your car ahead to drain as much battery as possible, and then you launch an all-out assault. But again, that just takes time. As we... No, okay, I misread the timing. I thought the timing went red if someone had gone off, but don't
Yeah,
think we had any
I saw the issue too, but I think it was just a brief blip. The timing screens aren't too reliable here on Assetto Corsa, but we made the best of it. Elston, after his early incident, into P11. He's now just a second behind Dolciotti. I believe I'm pronouncing that correct. Nearly into the points. Don't think he's pitted yet, so he should pick up some extra pace once he fixes that damage. If he fixes that damage. It can be quite costly here if you have damage and pit, so we'll see what he does. Yeah, gained 3 tenths through the Lesmos there, and now is the extra help in a DRS. Won't be able to get alongside into the Ascari too far back, but sets him up good for the next DRS straight.
It might actually be... No, he's picked up dirty air through the Scarage, as I was going to say it. I thought he might have been close enough to possibly make some kind of thing happen into his parabolic, but again, dirty air just kicking its ugly head again, causing the front end to wash out. He looks like he's going to get a good run through parabolic here, so again, we might see something happen into turn 1. He looks to be a lot closer than a couple of other cars have been in this same DRS zone.
Yeah, it was 5 tenths faster that lap.
Presumably going to be dumping what the battery has available to him. He has a look very deep.
Loses the rear. And he's round.
Doesn't make contact with Dolciotti, thankfully, but that is very, very easy to do with just how heavy a braking zone turn 1 is here.
Pernabe gets through. Oh, and he's round again. Just dirt on the tyres, a bit too much throttle, easy to go around. Oh, there's Gibson passes Gockman. I don't know if he made a mistake, but they've swapped positions. Apologies for that. We have brief periods of rest, and then everything goes off at once, by looks of things. The gaps have kind of spread out a little bit. Closest car is 1.2 seconds, so no car actually has DRS at the moment. Robbie Arthur in the pits. I'm not sure if he has damage or he's retired, but he's been there quite some time now. Let's see if he gets going again. Fox runs wide out of Scary by the looks of things. Drops a few positions. Thank you for the wonderful praise in the
You're
chat.
going to be getting a standing ovation for what is occurring.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why, but
Oh,
greatly appreciated anyway.
I think Elston just went off again. Yeah,
And
on
he's
the
got
exit of
steering, yeah, he's got
Scary.
suspension damage as well. You can see the steering wheel dip down to the left a little bit.
Marshall
straight
goes
line.
through. He's going to have to pit, unfortunately. Should be around in the pit window as Robbie Arthur DNF, so that's his race over, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's comes into the pits. So.
Goes into the pits. This will be a very costly pit stop. Take quite some time to fix that damage as he drives through the safety car. Oh, I think Marshall may have just lost the rear through the first chicane, spinning his wheels as he pulls off. Yeah, a lot of the drivers are going to be really starting to struggle on tyres now. Obviously, lap 14, the C4 tyres are quite soft, so they'll be really, really struggling now, especially out some of these slow corners like this. Just a little too much throttle and it can just send you around, so need to be super careful. Dolciotti right behind Bruno Morum now.
Dolciotti having not stopped, and I don't think whichever Morin brother that is has stopped yet. Oh wait, no, sorry, that's my mistake. He's on the C3, I believe, but
yeah, he should be able to carry them for quite some time, maybe 20-25 laps. So he might be on the C4s at the end of the race. little bit extra work, but could pay off in the long run. Kamishov is actually just 6/10 behind Willems now. I don't know if he's made a mistake, but he's brought that gap down quite close. He's going to have DRS still too far back. Nothing he can do into Ascari, but maybe the next few laps, Case just weaves a little bit, tries to break the toe. Oh, there's a car off Ascari. Oh, and it's Bruno Amorim. Amorim's off Ascari. Giovanni, I should say.
I hope there was any kind of
one of them
difference between the two on the timing board, but unfortunately there isn't. So
Agnes goes alongside.
Giovanni Morin possibly either catching the curb or running into traffic, I suppose.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Case Willems goes into the pits. Amorim pits, understandably, with the damage. Kamishov stays out. Oh, it looks
Very
like
deep into turn one.
Yeah. So Rosita's into P2 now. Gibson into P3. Obviously, they're yet to pit, but the undercut and the overcut can both pay off here. So we'll see what happens. What tyres are they on?
Case moves on to the C3s.
Yeah, that should take him to the end of the race.
Morin as well.
Both drivers.
Giovanni.
Does he get out in front of his teammate?
No, they're going to battle it out for position by the looks of things. Bruno just
big slide there.
Dolcioli on the back of these two as well.
I think they came together there, actually. There's a little bit of contact. Just flashed up on the time screen now as Littell's is off. And
that's
back to the pits. I think that's a retirement from the race, unfortunately. Fixed time screen once again.
Yeah, Littell's DNFing from the race after pretty much a race that went from bad. Well, just didn't start off very well.
Does Kamishov pull into the pits? Yeah, I believe Kamishov is pitting this lap, so who will come out in front? Will it be Willems? Amorim maybe can claw it back, even though he made a mistake. The undercut might be strong enough. It bounces over the curb on the entry to Ascari. Go on board with Willems, see how close he can be. Comes through the exit of Parabolica now. Kamishov just at the pit exit. Yep, and that's him out in front. So I believe Willems should inherit after the pit stops the lead of the race now. Very happy with that. Rositis stays out another lap. Still on the C4 tyres, so he's going to really be struggling now. As I said, the undercut is powerful here, so we'll see what happens, but maybe this isn't the best move. He came out alongside Amorim after his mistake, but might just drop back again. Case just come out the pits right in the tail of Machado. They want to clear him as fast as possible, maximise his new tyres. You don't want to get held up around here.
Machado obviously yet to stop, so presumably won't put up much of a fight to defend his position. In that case, just pulls to one side.
Should be an easy move into Parabolica. Yep, and he's through round the outside.
Expect to see Machado dive into the pits here.
Yep, I believe that is the case.
Like he does so.
Yep, good call. He's in the pits. Rositis stays out another lap.
Rositis obviously deciding to go very long on these C4s.
It's an interesting strategy because they can't go any... It's not like they're going to run the C5s, so the only real option is C3s, and Case is on the C3s, so it'll have to be the same tyre basically, so all he's doing is losing time while Case closes in on him with this undercut.
The advantage that Rositis will have towards the end of the race, though, going longer, is that he will be on fresher tyres to the end of the race, so if he can make up the deficit he'll have once he stops, then it'll pay off, but as it is, I don't see him pulling, or I don't see that happening.
Yeah, it's...
Just because the cliff on these tyres, it's not really that sharp at all. You kind of just gradually lose a couple of tenths each lap, and it kind of plateaus almost.
Yeah, around maybe 5 years ago or so, the tyres had a real knife edge. Once they were gone, you would just lose maybe 3-4 seconds per lap. But these modern tyres are a lot more resilient. You can run them for a lot longer, and the pace just slowly drops off, which can really help you if you're trying to extend them for a long time. He stays out another lap, Rositis. Case sets the fastest lap, 21.6.
Obviously, Rositis seems to think that this is working for him, or the tyres are still good, so...
Yeah, Willems was 7/10 a lap faster that lap.
Giovanni more impressed in the new fastest lap as well.
Yeah.
Gockman drops down a couple of positions, maybe an error there.
I believe he just pitted, so he comes out just in front of Bruno Marum. I think it was Fox just comes up behind Machado. See what he can do here. They'll have DRS down the straight. Should be an easy move into turn 1.
Yeah, move was pretty much done before he even got to the line, so...
Yeah. And he's
easy
through.
overtake. Steve, oh! Ooh, that was very close with Machado. I thought he was going to run into the back of him under the brakes.
Machado might be able to come out. No, just no traction out the corner. Nothing he can do. Fox will pull away now and maybe until the next DRS zone, but good luck passing there unless you have a huge tyre advantage. I think they're both on the same tyres now, so... Yeah, both the yellow-walled C3s, I think. Yeah, Rositis, yes. 22.7. He's just not got the lap times. I think Case and Kamishov, Willems are both pulling him in about second a lap as he's held up by, I believe that was Thomas. It wasn't Thomas Marshall. Not sure who that was. That was Andrea Canini. Getting lapped by Rositis. Held him up a little bit. Shouldn't cost him too much.
It's very interesting to see that Canini's on the C2s, actually. Very hard tyre compound for this circuit.
Oh, Bernabé in the wall. Where is this?
Between
Lesmo 1. It doesn't lose a position. I believe that's Agnes going by, but bit of a mistake from him. I don't think he lost any positions, but it's put Canini right on his rear. Both DRS. You just again see the front end just washing out through Ascari, just losing time, just seconds upon seconds. Rositis stays out for another lap. 23, so it's really pace is dropping off now. See what time Case does. Case Willems as he crosses the line, but I suspect it might be over a second faster. Yeah, there you go. 1.2 seconds faster that lap. So this is really extending these tyres. Some of our viewers in the chat comment maybe he's doing a C4, C5 strategy. It'll be an interesting one for sure. He has ran 20 laps on these tyres, so if he can extend them maybe another 5 laps, he could try the C5s, but it'd be definitely brave. Nothing to lose, really, but we'll see how it goes. Gaps again have opened up. Canini on the back of Bernabé into the second DRS zone again. Just nothing he can do. Too far back. Yeah, again, washes out through the exit of Scary, drops back. Bernabé tries to break the toe. Deep through Ascari, Parabolic I should say. Get the helping DRS, but I don't think 6/10 is enough to be able to close on him. Bernabé defends the inside, but it's defending nothing really. Moves back to his line.
He has a look to let him know he's there, but that's about it. Really, not really close enough to make anything else happen just yet.
And the cycle repeats once again.
Everything's kind of stabilized up front. Rositis still out on the C4s, incredibly.
Yeah.
Willems 12 behind, so as it stands, he is not going to come out ahead.
No, definitely not.
I don't even think he'll come out ahead of Gibson maybe at this rate.
Yeah, I'm not too sure how long a pit stop is here, but
I think it's definitely above 20 seconds. I think it's probably more around the 25-second region. So I don't think he'll even come out ahead of Gibson whenever he comes in.
And every lap he's slower than, I think, almost the top 8 now. He's slower than every lap, so they're just all closing on him. He's losing any gap for traffic. He's going to have to do a lot of work if he puts on those C5s, which he could maybe extend now, but...
Yeah, the only issue with him going to C5 is that they drop off pace-wise very, very quickly as he still keeps going. So Rosita is taking these tyres to their bitter end.
He's doing quite relatively consistent lap times, around the 22.8s, but Willems closed like another second on him there, 21.8, 1.1 second that was that lap. As Kamishov does a 21.4, closing 1.6 seconds to Rositis and 0.4 to the car in front, so we'll see how it goes, but not sure he'll be able to...
It's going to have to be a hell of a second stint to recover from the time he's lost.
Yeah, I've just seen in the chat someone said a 24-second pit stop around here. That would put him... we'll cycle out. We'll cycle our timing screen. We'll put him around P5, P6, around Ali Gockman and Oliver Gibson. So P5, could he gain another 20 seconds? Don't know. He'd have 10 laps to do it. 2 seconds a lap. We'll see.
One of the Amorim brothers in the pits as well just came out. Bruno Amorim.
Yeah, he was running the C3 tyres, so now he's onto the C4s. I think. One of them. Yeah, that's the C4 tyre he's on. Sorry, so... see what you can do with those, but... I don't know where that put him. Put him behind Luca Dolciotti and... who else? Oh, the timing screen just has a little bit of a moment. Oh, Rositis pits.
Oh, Rositis is in. He's finally came in to get those tyres off. Those tyres have got to be... I imagine pretty much at the end. Willems obviously jumps in.
Oh yeah, they're the C5 tyres.
That was a very, very quick stop. He's onto the C5s as well. He will come out behind Gibson, but possibly just ahead of Gottman.
That's a lap car behind. Yeah, so P5 onto the C5 tyres. Super aggressive strategy from him. Not sure how that'll pay off. He's got 12 laps to claw the positions back. I'm expecting a faster lap from him because those C5 tyres are quick. They're just not very... they don't last very long. But we'll see what he can do. Willems now leads in front by 3.6 seconds.
Gibson only 1.3 behind Giovanni Amorim. He's running third at the moment, but gap seems to kind of be staying where it is at the moment in the 1.3 region.
Yeah, we saw these two have a mega battle at Turkey a few races ago. Maybe they'll repeat that later on. It was definitely very exciting. Oh, there's a Amorim round! Oh, Commentators in action! Amorim round on the exit of Scari. P4. Just Agnes, free position for Agnes. He's up into P4. Amorim drops back. After his pole position as well at the start of the round, and he just drops back into P5. Definitely have damage on the front end from that. Not sure what the pace will be like. But fingers crossed he can keep going. It's not what you want to see, but obviously Monza takes no prisoners. Temple of Speed. Just, you know, one slight error, one turn in too late, turn in too early, just put you in the wall. As he quite clearly demonstrated there, unfortunately. I think Elston just comes out the pits.
Very aggressive weaving on exit.
Yeah, not sure what's going on there, but he's been in the wars this race, to say. He's getting lapped by a few cars now, unfortunately. I think he's... maybe he has no chance at the points. I don't want to be a bit rude, but, you know, he's got almost 60 seconds of the car in the P10, so I think that might be his chances of points over. Chado is just 4/10 behind Fox now, closes up into the second chicane.
Rosita is, I suppose, unsurprisingly on a charge at the moment. The gap's now down to about 3 seconds to Gibson.
That's Case still sets fastest lap, 21.2. We'll see what Agnes can do on his first lap with the C5s. Oh, that's 21.6. It's not what he needs. It's slower than Case.
And he's not getting affected by Gibson's dirty air at this point as well. So I'm not sure if those C5s are just not switched on yet or they've already gone. They're generally quite good as a one-lap, all-out tire, as far as I'm aware, but they're not really good past that point. So
they're a super soft tire, yeah. So maybe the pressure's just set. Takes a few laps to switch them on, but it's not what he needs. Only 10 laps to go.
Trying to go for a move here on Fox into turn 1.
It's gonna be oh, yeah, through easy before the corner's even there.
Yeah, textbook DRS overtake, really.
Flatters the curve a little bit, but he's through quite easily. Fox has no answer for that, as I believe Elson in the background trying to unlap himself. We'll see if he tries to make a move on the car in front. He won't be too happy with that, but if he feels he's faster...
That's bold.
Yeah,
Nearly
Fox,
gets it very wrong as well.
Fox won't be too happy with that, but he's well in his right to do so if he feels he's faster, as long as he doesn't hold him up too much. Yeah, so Agnes then still not closing, still 3 seconds to the car in front. 21.6 from Gibson, 21.6 from Rositis, so those C5 tyres just not working out for him.
It's a bold move, and I could commend him for trying something different, but generally the C5 is not really a race tyre. Or any kind of tyre that's really an option, unless you're just going for a last lap, all-out, fastest lap. But I don't think that's actually been done yet in either split in the Premier Series.
It was Dolciotti's off for the exit of Ascari by the looks of things. Shouldn't lose a position, but he's just running in the points now. It's a quite good result for him, but really need to stop making those mistakes if you want to stay there.
Resistance has got the gap down to 2.7, but again, it just doesn't seem to be closing at the rate that he would be hoping for, being on the C5s compared to everyone else who's pretty much on the C3s at this point.
He's got around 10 seconds to Willems in front. Just maybe if he makes a mistake, maybe if the C3s just drop off, but the C5s just don't last as long and really needs to be putting in those laps now. 22.8 from Willems, so not a fast lap, definitely not. 1.2 seconds, Kamishov closed. Let's see what he can do. It's a 21.5, so it's a better lap, but still 0.3 off what Case has managed on the C4s.
It's not much faster than the C3 runner ahead of him, Gibson. As well, given there's I don't know what you want to call it, a 2 compound difference between the two.
Machado's off at the exit of Ascari. Again, seems to be a very common place for cars to make a mistake there. Big gap to the car behind, so he'll keep his position for now. See if he has damage. Yeah, slow through Ascari. I think he might be going to go into the pits. Yeah.
Good.
Might drop him back to P11, P12. Might be able to fight back, but really unfortunate to do that in the last stage of the race. Maybe dash onto the C5, try go for fastest lap. But they're not working out for Rositis. He's still 3 seconds to the car in front. I think he might have been held up a little by traffic then, but needs to get a move on if he wants to get those positions. He's outside the podium, which, I mean, he's definitely got the pace, but has he got the time and the tyre life? 21.5 from Case. 21.9 from Kamishov. 21.8 from Gibson. I don't think he's fast enough. No, 22, so the cars in front are pulling away from him on the harder tyre. I think he should be safe from Giovanni behind. Bit of a heartbreak race from there as he just wobbles on the entry to the first chicane. Pole position at the start of the race, now running P5. Had a bit of a... Sorry, go on.
Sorry, I was just going to say, I think for Rositis it's all going to depend just how quickly those tyres fall off the cliff as to whether or not Giovanni can catch up to him and make a move towards the end of this race.
Yeah, he's definitely took a risk, and it's not paid off so far. He doesn't have the extra pace advantage, and he's going to really start struggling with the grip soon. Oh, I think as Thomas Marshall is off the second chicane, it looks. He gets going again.
Second chicane exit, thankfully, doesn't get it beached on
Oh.
those. Oh, just drops it again from those tyres being a light after a spin in these cars.
Yeah, hasn't
So
lost
get-
anything yet. Elston's going to be licking his lips though. He's been chasing all the race. Only 4 seconds. I think he just gained about 15 seconds on Marshall then, so might be able to catch up, but unfortunately, nothing to show for it really. P14, P15, no points, so okay, he's still out there, leading the race. 21.5, definitely got good pace. Agnes did a 21.7 that lap, so you know, just not the pace he needs, and they're just going to get worse from here. I think Marshall's had an... Oh, yeah, Marshall's off again as he hits the wall.
I can't tell what that is. Is that
It's a Scary, I believe, on the exit.
a very unusual place to end up if you drop it at a Scary, so... Not...
I believe... Oh,
Oh, that's very dangerous. Please move from there. Do not want to see a car pacing backwards on the exit of the Scar, especially there, given the speed some of these guys should be going through there.
I think he may have a puncture, maybe? Or just a lot of... I think he might have a puncture. Maybe not, just really damaged tyres. He's going to be pitting now. Elston gained that P14 that we said he might. Oh, it's Bruno Morum, just a 10th behind Fox. I believe Marshall may be off again. Yellow flag's out in the third sector. Again, just through the Lesmos, nothing you can do, can't keep up. But it does have a good exit, does have the DRS.
Does have a really good turn to Ascari, but it's going to be very bold to make the move around the outside into Ascari. He will pull it off, though. Kind of runs a little deep, but Fox just...
Impressive move there, yeah. Around the outside through Ascari, but Fox can maybe come back at him, right behind him and come into Parabolica. He'll have the DRS into the turn 1.
He needs to focus on getting a very good exit out of Parabolica here, which he looks to have done. If he's got any battery spare, he'll pretty much be on the overtake button right now, catching up to the back of that car. DRS now wide open. Amorim moves to the inside to defend the position. Fox is going to pull out to the left. Late on the brakes now, it's going to be... And he will just about get it done, maybe, unless Giovanni can get a good exit out of turn 1. They're now side by side, heading into Curva Grande. More maybe with the better exit here, we think. He will have the inside into the chicane. Still side by side. Fox just ahead. Still side by side between the two as we head into the Lesmos now. Fox decides to yield. Lets Bruno through, but that was some brilliant racing between the two there.
Yeah, really, really impressive stuff to keep it side by side throughout almost half the lap there. I think there's a little touch on the exit of the second chicane, but they've both managed to go okay. Fox has DRS now, but I think Bruno Morum should be quite clear in front now, should be able to pull a bit of a gap. So Wilhelm still leads. He's still got good pace, 21.6 last lap, 21.6 from Kamishov last lap, so he's managing that gap. I think this would be his first win in the Challenger split, which would be good to see. Always nice to have a new winner. Don't want to jinx it yet, though, so we'll see how it goes for the rest of the race.
He's going to have to put a lot of focus on just hitting his marks at this stage. Again, leading is one of the better and one of the worst positions. Obviously, you're ahead. You're not. You've just got clean air. You've got to focus entirely on what you're doing, but you have no one else to rely on. And obviously, some pressure can build up because you are fully aware that you are leading.
Yeah, he does have a lapped car. Oh, as he runs wide through Parabolica there.
A lot of unlisted through Parabolica.
He does have a lapped car between him and Kamishov, I believe, so that'll be a little bit of a... Maybe just help him out a little bit. Obviously, the blue flags are in effect here, so they are supposed to move out of the way, but it can sometimes be tricky. May lose half a second, I should say, and that can cost you in the long run. We've got only 3 laps left now.
Fox possibly looking to launch an assault again on the Morin, but I just don't think he's close enough yet.
Yeah, he's
just outside of DRS.
Just outside DRS. I don't think any cars in DRS actually, so the gaps have opened up throughout the field. This is our closest battle, 1.1, and you can see how far it is. Morum is just a dot in the distance, so unless someone makes a mistake, it should be, fingers crossed, quite easy for the field to stay where they are. Agnes now on his, I think, 12 lap old C5 tyres, which he's definitely doing a good job of staying on the road, but that strategy in the long run really didn't pay off. He's not gained the car in front, P4. Alright, his last lap was a 22.3, so he's actually losing Giovanni and Morum close 7/10 like that, with only three laps left. Should be able to stay where he is. You just see Morum there, just in the distance, closing slowly, but maybe not enough time to get it. Ooh, little wobble on the exit there for Willems. Stays on the road though. Second chicane, keeps it tidy. What he needs to do, his tyres are alright, but be feeling it a little bit. I think Elson, mistake on the exit of Ascari. In front of Marshall, who also made a mistake there, but yeah, just not his day today. It's quite a good result in quali, but his teammate out there leading the race, he's down in P14. Just, you know, first thing you want to do, beat your teammate. Don't want to be lapped by your teammate, especially, so it's really unfortunate for him. He will not be happy with his result. Oh, it's Kamishov. Kamishov's off through Ascari. Well, that's Gibson through into P2. Well, Rositis, maybe not. Yeah, Kamishov makes an error. Closing stage of the race, very, very costly. Drops P3, drops P2. Lets Gibson through. Only a second off. I'm not sure if he hit the wall or not. We have lost Toby, so we'll manage with this for now. Kamishov a second to Gibson in front, just outside the DRS. His tyres are not going to be too happy. They'll be hot, they'll be worn. We've got, I think he's had 13 laps on those tyres. They'll really be struggling. So Rositis just behind. You can see him there, but maybe not close enough. I believe that's a lap car between them. As Kamishov just closes within a second. See if he gets the DRS onto the next straight. This is just within a second through Lesmo 2. Should get the DRS. Might be able to close in. He's only got one lap. This remainder of this lap and the next one to go. See if he can actually make a move on him. Oh, there's got her off. That looks like Thomas Marshall again. Fortunately, keeps out of the way. Doesn't affect anything. Case just crosses the line onto the last lap. Clear track in front of him, other than that lap car. 9 seconds to the car behind, short of quite a big mistake, to be honest. Oh, as Kamishov is off again! Rositis goes through, Amorim goes through. P2, P5 in one lap. I said the tyres will be hot, they'll be worn, and there he is dropping back to P5. Disappointing stuff, but it is what it is. You push those tyres and you can just make one mistake and it just drops you back. Margins are so thin here in Challenger Split and Master Split, as he's just tiptoes into the first corner. You can just see the sliding on the exit as he armfuls of opposite lock, try and keep it in a straight line. Case through Lesmo 2, 8 seconds to the car behind, so he looks like he is taking it a bit easy. But I think he should be safe in his position. Goes through Ascari on the last lap. Clean and tidy, doesn't want to make an error. So he passes Ascari for the final lap of the race. I believe to take his maiden Formula Trout win in Challenger Split. Be very, very happy with that. He started near the front of the grid, crosses the line into P1. We'll have Gibson 8 seconds back in P2. Good result for him. Rositis on his really aggressive C5 strategy. Maybe didn't pay off because of the pace, but others making a mistake managed the good result on the podium. Giovanni Amora after starting on pole, disappointing P4, but still a good result. Kamishov after his mistake on the last lap drops to P5. Ali Gockman P6. Bruno Mara 30 seconds to the car behind. Quite a big gap. Still racing, but still time to make an error. But obviously he's got quite a good gap to the car, 2 seconds, and we doubt he'll make an error. Willems Donuts into the second chicane, very happy with the result. A win, put him good haul of points. Bit of a statement in Challenger Split. I'm here to win races, and there you go. Zamarim crosses the line in P7, Fox in P8, and Dolciotti in P9 when he gets there. Final points finisher is Imran Shakir. I don't know how to pronounce his name, unfortunately. I'll probably mess that up, but he was our final points finisher as Lupo Dolciotti. Finishes in P9. So it'll be a couple of points for him. Well deserved. I believe that's all our cars finished now. We're going to have... Maybe we'll have an interview. We'll see. As I've said, I'm not the usual commentator. I'm just here because Ross was having issues, unfortunately. See if anyone hops in. Oh, yeah, we have Case. We'll just set up the...
Yes, 1 second. I cannot believe it. Can you hear me? Awesome. I cannot believe it. I think this race had to be one of the toughest ones I've had. This car, for me at least, especially during the latter half, after the pit stop, it got really difficult to keep under control. I made a few small mistakes, braking a bit too late there, having a half spin there. But yeah, I was really surprised by. I don't know how Dimitri spun at the end, but yeah, what a race! I'm exhausted.
Okay, apologies. You couldn't hear me then, but I am back. Yeah, we've got Case here, who just won his... I believe that's your first win in a Challenger Split, is it?
This is my first win, I believe, ever in Trout. Ever.
It's great to see. It was well deserved. It was you had really good pace throughout. I don't know if you noticed, but Agnes behind pitted onto the C5 tyres, and you were faster than every lap, honestly. So really strong pace out there.
Yeah, I noticed Agnes had quite a long stint. I believe until like lap 22, 23, something like that. I decided to start on the C4s. They did start to wear quite early, I think after about lap 10. Sorry for the wind, by the way, if you can hear, that's my fan. Then I went on the C3 stint. The first half went really good. It was a really stable car, very happy with that. But then later it got worse and worse. And I had to, try to drive it home basically when I was in P1.
Well, it was a really impressive show. You had pace throughout, and yeah, congratulations once again.
Thank you, man. Thanks for accommodating.
Yep. That was a Case Wilhelms. We'll just bring Oliver Gibson in now for an interview. Hello, you should be on the stream now.
Hello.
Oh, I'm not quite sure. Oh, you finished P2. It was a really good job, actually. I think you were running P3 for quite some time, and then Kamishov made a little bit of an error, and you managed to jump him into P2 as a solid result. Talk us through it.
I made contact on lap 1 actually with I think Case, and then yeah, and then it was just trying to get it to the end really with the damage, and then I got overtaken actually quite a lot, and then I pitted, repaired the damage, and then just tried driving as fast as I could, and then luck was on my side. So yeah, very happy.
Yeah, it definitely paid off. There was no errors. I know Kamishov made a little bit of an error in the middle of the race. During the end of the race. Did you expect that, or was it a bit of a shock to you as well?
Oh, it was a massive shock. I can't remember which corner was it. Was it?
I believe he went off at Ascari and then went off at Parabolica as well.
Yeah, I went through the through Ascari. I saw the yellow flag. I was like, oh, someone back marker's gone off, and I saw him. I was like, oh, hello. So yeah, that was unfortunate for him, but yeah, just
Still-
how it is.
Yeah, still a strong result, P2 for you, and he down in P5, unfortunately, but I'm sure you don't mind with that extra position, so yeah, congratulations again.
Thank you. Thanks for streaming.
We'll just bring Agnes Rositis over. He finished in P3. Hello, Agnes, you should be on the stream now.
Hello, yes.
Yep, loud and clear. That was P3 for you. You tried a very aggressive strategy. Talk us through it.
Yes, this race was really tough pace-wise for me, which I honestly expected because Monza has never been my track. So yeah, I felt like I didn't have the pace, so I had to try maybe something different, which I did.
Yeah, it was definitely brave. We saw, I think you went 22 laps on the C4s and then another 13 on the C5s. I think you're the first guy to run the C5s all season. So, did they handle okay, or were you aware that they were maybe a bit too soft, a bit too aggressive?
I actually did test that, so I knew they would last around 15 laps, so I just went for it. And honestly, Monza isn't the heaviest track for the tires, so it was all just about traction and not about the corner grip.
Yeah, you were matching the guys in front. You couldn't close in, but Kamashov in front made that bit of an error. I think you passed one of the Amoran brothers, gained a few positions from that. So yeah, P3 and then solid result. I don't know the championship standings, but I think you might still be leading. So yeah, great job.
Yes, thank you. Cheers.
See you. So that's it. We will have the Master Split stream coming up soon. This wasn't the usual stream, the commentator, but here I am. This is what it was, and yeah, thank you for watching.